Alright guys, we are here with the Streamer.bot mini tutorial 7, and we are going to be doing this on timed actions. So, I've already come in here. We have a YouTube test action. Actually, as you guys can probably see, it's like I got this entire thing freaking working already. And that you also see down here that there's a 7.1. But it's like, why? I'll cover that as well in a minute. So, it would just be make an action, right? Be under core, timed actions, put whatever your timed actions are in that. And for timers, you have enabled repeat. Repeat is whether or not you want it to happen more than once, of course, which completely makes sense. This would be good for like redeems if you have a redeem you want to just end after a little bit, right? Like maybe you're switching uh like turning something off or something along those lines essentially would be a good reason to use not or to use don't repeat. Repeat would be things like your sponsorship messages and crap like that. Use repeat, right? Random interval just gives you this lovely second option. Right now we are going between 5 and 10 seconds. And then lines. Okay. Lines here is basically the main reason why this tutorial video is being made, because if you have like let's say you're only streaming normally on YouTube, right? It's like if all your streaming is on a single platform, yeah, go ahead, use this, right? Works, no issues. As soon as you hit that you're doing like YouTube and like Twitch, for instance, this lines no longer works, which becomes a whole other issue. Okay? Because at that point, it's not sure whether to pull the chat message counter from YouTube, Kick, or Twitch. Right? So if you're on a single platform, use lines. If not, I will cover in this video actually how to get around the counting of lines, because that's kind of the point of this video, is to show people on how the heck to do it. Because let's face it, timed messages are really simple, right? It's an action that happens every X seconds. So if we go back, right? So we got this. So we can come over to here, up to chat. We'll put, new timed message here, right? Oh, should proc in a second. Yeah, see? New time message here. Good. That's exactly what we want, right? However, we do actually want to expand upon this, and I will show you guys how to do it. Okay, so let's say you are on all three platforms, okay? You'd want to go through to add, go to each thing, okay? Go to the chat and then put in its message one, okay? And do all of that. That's step one, okay? If you also have a bot, a bot or you, okay? Either or, you'd want to make sure that it's not counting your messages as well, because that would be bad, as then it's always going to work, right? So, for instance, in this case, right, we would be going up to add core, logic, else if, okay, and I'll show you guys my stuff here. So we want the variable user, okay. It's the reason why we use the percent signs is because we are pulling from a variable. And we want to go not equals to, and in my case, it would be bot PS9 because that is my bot that I use. for sending out my messages and that. So it's like, cool, right? So that's completely handled, right? So it essentially makes sure that the bot is not equal to this, which is awesome. So if it's not equal to that, we want to go to globals, and we want to go to global set. Okay. This is just what I named it. We'll go timed message counter. Okay. And we want to just increase, like increment. That will increment the value of this global variable by 1. Just done and over with, which is fantastic. We also want it to be persistent because, well, I guess realistically, you probably don't need persistent, but it's whatever. Right? And yeah, so that handles the keeping track of lines, which is fantastic for us. So now if we go back to tutorial 7, right? What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to logic, else if, okay? We'll go timed message counter is greater than 1. Okay. So first of all, we can now drag that message down there. See, and if I come in here and we enable this, this also should not continue to work because this variable does not exist. Okay. You cannot get globals this way. I'm like, there's probably some way to get globals from the input, which would, like, you could reduce the amount required to do this by like 1 line, but it's really, really minor. So core globals set, right? We want timed message counter, and we just want to set that equal to 0. Right, so every time that this message goes off, it resets our counter. Fantastic. The question is, why is it still not working? Because we still need to get the variable, right? So under core, we go back down to globals. We can go down to get. I'm just going to default this to like -10 because it should never happen. But for some reason, like, let's say it somehow, the global doesn't exist, so it has to set it to -10. It at least gives you some leeway. But that's just personal preference. And then, yeah, then we want to get the variable, right, that we're pulling from, and what we want to call the variable now in this action. So if I do that, right, we can come down here. I'll give it a second. Right, timed message counter, -10. Of course, it's going to be dumb. Okay, so that's still pulling -10 for some reason or another. And it shouldn't be. Oh, I think that's because it didn't exist. So that's like what the default is. I did switch it down here, right? Timed message counter. Okay, so if I go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so now we're at 1, okay, because it was at -10. So if I come in here, type again, we're at 2. We get the new message, like new time message here, and then the timer drops back down to 0. So that is how you guys can pull off the lines on timed messages if you need them, if you are on multi-platform. There are, like, you could easily do this in code as well. But I'm just showing in this because not everyone is going to know how to do it in C#, because it would be along the lines of like cph get global var int, right? And then like the var name, so it'd just be like timed message counter, and this would be int counter. Like, realistically, you don't actually even need that, right? Like, you could just get the global counter and go if global counter is greater or equal to 2, right? Then you can go cph send message new timed message here. This would go, of course, to Twitch, right? And then just cph set global var, and then it'd be like your timed message counter. We want it to be equal to 0. Now, right, it's like this is essentially the exact same thing. Well, actually, no, that is the exact same thing as like all of this, right? So it just comes down to pure preference as to which you prefer. Hopefully, you guys learned something in this, and that, like I said, for some reason, the time messages just can't pull lines because it's not sure which one of the platforms to pull from. I learned that yesterday when I was trying, like, when I ended up asking the community. But yeah, so hopefully this little video tutorial was helpful, and I can see you guys in the next one, which won't be until after the winter break, which just started. So we are on winter break until the 5th. I'll see if I can get another video out, but don't count on it because it's hard to make videos when either like the wife or child are home because of background noise and that. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video, or maybe when I'm live, because I am live over on Twitch 6 days of the week. I also try to stream over on Kick as well as here on YouTube. But yeah, anyways, guys, see you later. Bye bye for now.